Now, the executive order signed today by the president, it keeps the information vague on federal funding for schools, leading to more questions than answers for Hawaii lawmakers. Our Kimber Collins joins us outside the Hawaii Department of Education building, and she has got more on how state lawmakers and teachers are responding. Kimber?
Good evening, Jai. Yes, I spoke with Congresswoman Jill Tokuda today about what impacts Hawaii could face if the federal education branch was dismantled. And she said it's the uncertainty in the executive order about the future of funding that has her most concerned.
As a very proud public school graduate, a mother of 2 teenagers in our public schools right now, this really cuts close to home. This is unacceptable.
A sentiment shared among most Hawaii government officials. Governor Green stating President Trump's executive order to dismantle the U.S. Department of Education threatens this support, shifting responsibilities to the states without clear funding solutions. This could place additional strain on our budget and impact vital programs like special education and school meals. Senator Brian Schatz. Schools across the country rely on federal dollars, but Donald Trump would rather gut their funding and funnel it into the pockets of billionaires. This time it's our children who will pay for it with their futures. Looking at the executive order, here are the only mentions of school funding. Taxpayers spend $60 billion annually on federal school funding. And by dismantling the department, allocation of any federal Department of Education funds is subject to rigorous compliance with federal law and administration policy. And any program receiving federal funds must terminate DEI or gender ideology platforms. As for Hawaii's current $2.18 billion education budget, $239 million or 11% of that funding is from the federal government. But without specifics, lawmakers and teachers are not sure what the future will hold.
Right now, what's very worrisome for many of us is there's very little detail in the executive order. You hear the president making grand statements about he will protect Title I funding and IDEA funding, but without that detail in there in terms of how the money would actually get to states and students at the end of the day, we have no guarantees.
If the people who control how the programs that impact our students from the federal level are no longer employed, who is going to make sure that those programs are in place and who's going to make sure that that funding goes to what it needs to be used for?
The executive order will put power in the hands of the states, which already operates as a one-district system, meaning education committee members and the Board of Education will obtain a higher workload.
The legislature has to just be prepared and flexible for almost any scenario that they're looking at.
Besides the money, one of the largest pillars of the department has been the resources, phone numbers to call to get assistance with programs or different ideas, as well as websites. But with the dwindling down of the staff with the department to run those offices, that will be the biggest change that states will see across the country. However, if students will feel an impact from that change has yet to be seen. Reporting live in Honolulu, Kimber Collins, Island News.